God's abhorrence. What does the prophet really mean when he says, "Thou art of purer eyes, and to behold evil, and canst not look on iniquity"? Well, we know it doesn't mean that God doesn't see the iniquity, because he does. So what does it mean then, "Thou canst not look on iniquity"? That little phrase means that God cannot look at sin with complacency. He cannot look at it without hating it. It means that all the evil in the world, all the sin in the world, all the iniquity committed by men and women in the world is utterly, utterly abhorrent to God, because he is a holy God. Isn't it true that many in this world tonight dismiss the idea of sin? They really think nothing of it, you know. Go out into the streets of Greenville, or perhaps even into the churches of Greenville, and ask people about their views of sin. Some will just laugh at you. Just laugh at you. There are some who think it's fine to love something more or something other than God. There's some who think it's no big thing to break the Sabbath day and not to remember it or keep it holy. There's some who think it's okay to lust after a woman, either on a computer screen or in the very act of adultery. There are some who think there's no problem with being deliberately dishonest on their tax forms or their job resumes. Some who think they have the right to steal from their employer his time or his money or his goods. There are some who think they have the right to covet and to cheat and to curse and to sin, and they just laugh it off. They just laugh it off. It's what drives the entertainment industry, you know. It thrives on making sin look attractive, making sin look appealing. The world views sin as a normal, acceptable part of life, nothing to get yourself all troubled about. And they don't even think of sins, certain sins, as sins at all. Talk to the world about adultery as a sin or homosexuality as a sin, and they look at you as if you've come off a different planet. They don't see those things as sins at all. But God views them as sin. And he hates it. He hates it. God does not approve of sin. God never commands a man to sin. God will not excuse sin. He has never accepted it. He will not promote it. He will not make light of it. God and evil are eternal opposites. He will not have sin in his presence. It's contrary to God. Sin is contrary to God. And therefore he abhors it. He hates it. He detests it. God abhors sin because it's contrary to his nature. It's contrary to his nature. Remember, God is a thrice holy God. It's hard, I understand, for us to really grasp that, to understand and comprehend the absolute sinlessness of a holy God. We are so accustomed to sin, we're so accustomed to feeling our own sin, it's hard to understand a sinless being, hard to comprehend a sinless being. But God is absolutely holy in his entire nature. Everything about him is so holy. In fact, he is so holy that according to Malachi 2, verse 17, God is wearied when men say that evil is good and good is evil. The very statement, the very thought that good is evil and evil is good, it wearies God. The very fact that men would think that wearies God. Because he is so holy and there is no sin in him, and therefore sin is contrary to his very nature, and because it is, he abhors it. It's not just disagreeable to God. Sin is not just disagreeable to God. Sin is distinctly contrary to all that God is. And when you sin, and when I sin, we are sinning against the nature of God.